Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Akio, and you're tapping into today is on a Saturday. So this is Art Life Saturdays. Um, Today I wanted to just discuss what was behind the inspiration of the Freedom Camo. Freedom Camo, I created that. It was a very this piece that I created. It was with Harriet Tubman, and I put her on the canvas, and I had her escape the canvas. And it's in the middle of the canvas. It's an image of her, but on to the right of the canvas, I put hunting mesh onto the canvas, and I digitized her wearing a poncho, a tree camo poncho. Now, I always share with people if Harriet was in today's time, she would be wearing hunting camo. She wouldn't be in the woods wearing, just my rings went up. She wouldn't be in the woods wearing sorry about that. Wearing like bright colors. She would be blending in with the atmosphere. I always share with people how, it's many people who wear the hunting camo for sport. It's a way of life, it's a survival. And Harriet, she literally did that. She was being hunted. So I played and I take a spin off that. And lately I've been putting in most of my pieces. And I had a conversation with my twin sister, and she was just telling me like the Anna Mary Douglas piece that you see right here. She had mentioned that she didn't see any tree camo in that piece. And I more so wanted to just talk about Anna Mary Douglas as it relates to her being at Fells Point when she met Frederick Bailey. You're probably asking who Frederick Bailey is. Frederick Douglass. You notice I said Anna Mary Douglas. When she met Frederick, she was already free. And she said, no guy of mine is going to be, it's dirt bikes in the background. It's a nice day out here. Try and get you guys out of here. But anyway, she said, no guy, no husband of mine is going to be a slave. So she took matters into her own hands and she made him a sailor outfit. She was a seamstress. She made him a sailor outfit. And she also sold her feather bed. That's why when you see on this painting, it's feathers there. When she sold her feather bed, was able to purchase a New York ticket. Now, back in the day, Frederick Bailey was a conqueror in Fells Point, Maryland. But it was known and it was okay if you were on board a sailor ship, as long as you had your papers, you were able to you were looked at as a freed man. So that was Frederick's only chance to being free. So she made him a sailor outfit. She was able to disguise. He was able to be in disguise, and he also had a New York train ticket. And he traveled all the way from Baltimore to Pennsylvania to New York, and that's how he was free. So in this painting here, it's Anna. You can see her right there, and I put like a measuring tape, because she was a seamstress, and and on the other side, she's looking at Frederick, and his image is faded. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to apply the tree camo into that piece as well, because if it wasn't for Anna Mary Douglas, Frederick Douglass would have not been free. She inspired him to be free, and as we know, man, he played a pivotal role in what he was able to contribute. So, with that being said, I was able to feature my artwork or have an exhibition with my twin sister. We did last quarter of October, and that's when I had debuted the Freedom Camo. Um, and I did a second piece where I had this vintage tree camo button up, and I called this the North Star, and I pierced a hole inside the North Star, and I had a galaxy. If you look on my Instagram page, it's there. It's not that far down, but it was just exciting to be able to create what I envisioned in my mind for years, because I've always put Harriet on hunting camo, and I thought people got why I was doing it. My first hat that I've ever created was like in 2006, and I had just and well, now it's been a couple of years ago. I gave it to my cousin, when she came over, my cousin Portia. Shout out to my cousin Portia. But that was the very first hunting camo / Harriet Tubman hat that I've ever made. And she says she still has it. I might want to get that from her because it's a collector's item. It's a relic at this point. You know what I mean? 2006. Like what? So um, I think with the art, with me, because I've always put Harriet Tubman on wearable art, but with the Freedom Camo with the canvas, I'm able to really tell a story of how I seen in my mind, and now people are starting to get it. I even heard people say, "Yo, I ain't never like to wear hunting camo, but yo, because I'm hearing how you are incorporating into your pieces, I've people want to wear it." And I jokingly sometimes press up what people wear. I'm like, nah, man, what you doing? Because I remember when I used to wear tree camo back in the day, it was frowned upon. You know what I mean? People used to like, he said, what you trying to be a redneck? And, oh, what you, I'm like, nah, man, I just love the pattern, just as like armor fatigue, but I love tree camo more because I love when you wear the Timberlands and it's a tree. I just like to do that. But for me, I feel like the trees is free. You take the tree and you replace the T with F and it's free. You're being free to freedom of expression, freedom of choice, freedom of being able to just stand in your own right and fight. And I feel like that's what it stands for. And as I continue to embark on this creative journey, more meanings is going to coincide and it's going to kind of come to me. So I'm excited about that. Just as the same as the Akio's Glorious Heroes, when I made it an ode to my mother, Glorious Taylor, because she died of a heart attack. There's been so many other things that had came to me as it relates to uh, my ode to my mother, and my heart. The last three letters in heart is art. So when I'm saying heart, I'm really talking about my art. And just recently, as I shared with you in the previous video of how I done the pieces for Iron Heart, you know, and my mother used to make me read comic books because she didn't know how to connect with, being a single parent mom and having hardly a father in the household. So she figured, like, all right, let me just give a man some comic books, give my little boy some comic books, and maybe he can connect with that. And now, fast forward to, this the commission happened in 2022, but I've been able to do a lot of things, not only just for Marvel, but for also DC Comics, and also the comic book that Nike had produced in 2017 that was painted on Paul Blanken's Cinderella Shoes at Pisgah, rest in peace. He created that comic book, commissioned by Nike, and not not just getting over, but I just wanted to just commemorate that mural, even while he was still living, and he liked and shared the hoodie pieces that I created because it was limited. I'm only one person now. If I was to collaborate with a company, then yeah, but making these one of one wearable art pieces, and I plan to actually launch a collection as to expand this Freedom Camo. You know what I mean? And I'm excited. So yeah, I'm not gonna hold you guys. It's kind of early, but I've been meaning to share, this about, on this Saturday, Art Life Saturday. But I hope that this actually brought some clarity as to why you might see me wearing tree camo all the time. And, let me know if you have any questions. Don't hesitate to, leave a comment. I appreciate all you guys who've tapped in thus far. I'm excited and grateful for this journey. But like I said, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm up. I only did 8 minutes, so we good. So with that being said, let me know if there's anything that I haven't actually finished, and I look forward to continue to press on with sharing you guys a lot more stuff behind the scenes about me. All right, peace.